So we saw a pretty steady diet of Barry and Betty, Brickyard, and Colonel Mustard jamming yesterday for Greenville, and I would expect nothing less than that. I believe that's Colonel Mustard, number 19, out as the lead jam right on her heels, though. That is 1891 for Small Wonders. That is Tesla Coil. Tesla Coil. 1891 Tesla Coil. I love the jammer foot race, but you could see that there's not a lot of points to be gained really when both jammers are side by side hitting the back of the pack. So probably a smart move on the point of Colonel Mustard to call that, get the 4 points, but cut in half there as Tesla also got 2 points. And here we go with Barry and Betty, and I believe that is Crash Bangacooch going to be jamming for Small Wonders.
That's Barry and Betty on the line there for Greenville.
And
Barry and Betty is your lead jammer.
A great 3 for 3 lead jams for Greenville. Greenville showing exactly why they are the number 8 team ranked in the South region for WFTDA. Recycling there, that is Smashley Balls doing the recycle. And we said Smashley's name quite a bit in the first game yesterday.
We sure did, and I giggled every time. And that's
Bulldozer, I believe, going to the penalty box there for Greenville. Not sure what the penalty was, but it looks like a star pass.
We've got a Station 2 star pass to Harlot Oscara.
Nothing comes of it, though, as the star pass not quite fully executed before Barry and Betty calls off the jam after another 8 points. So Greenville out to an early lead, 32-2, just 4 minutes into this first half. I know.
Beautiful hit out there on the inside for Greenville.
I believe that is Case. Yeah, Case putting on the star. No
Excellent bit of O there from the Small Wonders blocker.
That is Magnetron
That was
again.
J.K. Jakes on the inside holding the line for their jammer.
And apologies, that was actually Magnetron jamming there at the Small Wonders Skate Club there, but locked out by Brickyard. Brickyard scoring 4 points quickly. That's Tesla Coil coming back out to jam for Small Wonders, and the blocking trio in the back there for Greenville. Oh, nice.
I don't know if I saw Tesla
solar
Coils
plexus
jamming
spike.
last night. This might be their first game of the day, or first game of the tournament. Their first game of the tournament. Right up on each other, putting pressure on Colonel Mustard. It's going to be very hard for Colonel to score points if Tesla also doesn't score points.
So I think we saw this exact same combo out there again. Both jammers getting through very quickly and then in a foot race. So just like we saw last time, Tesla Coil able to score 2 and kind of hold Colonel Mustard to a low scoring jam there.
Yeah, very excellent hustle from Tesla there.
I'm going to scoot a little closer to you because I can't. Scoot a little closer to you because I can't really hear you. You're right with the echo. New jammer putting on the star for Small Wonders.
Oh, no, that's a pivot.
That is Jim Scary. We saw Jim Scary doing quite a lot of pivoting yesterday, but Jim Scary now putting on the star and trying to jam for Small Wonders. Meanwhile, Barry and Betty out early lead jam for Greenville. Stop me if you've heard that before. Lead jam for Greenville Apex Predators.
Jim Scary out of her initial pass and coming around to score.
Mina Cat Scratch, one of the blockers for Small Wonders, doing a great job kind of limiting the damage. It was a nice hit on the inside of turn 3, recycled Barry and Betty. So Betty walks away with only 2 points. It's nice defense by Small Wonders there.
You know, we saw a ref take a spill there. What a great time to shout out our wonderful refs. Our game is ref today by Viva la Evolucion, X-Ray Ted, Chemical Restraint, You'll Need a Rehab, Newbie McHusband, Will Ryder, and Colonel Angus. Thank you for reffing this morning.
And we're off to the races. It looks like that is Brickyard doing it again. Brickyard out lead jam for Greenville. And there we go. Case putting the star on for the first time. Case out of the pack as well. Nice footwork on the outside. Great vocal coaching from the Greenville bench. We heard the call it there. Knocked out of bounds was Brickyard, number 400, and decided to just take the points they could get as Case was rapidly approaching the back of the pack. A scoreless jam there.
That's Colonel Mustard on the line there for Greenville.
Colonel Mustard lead jam for Greenville, and that might be a perfect 7 for 7 thus far. Lead jams for Greenville as Tesla Coil. We've seen Tesla and Colonel Mustard side by side, but the defense now stepping up for Greenville, really trying to figure out Tesla Coil and hold back that initial pass.
I'm seeing some really excellent offense to defense switches from this Small Wonders pack. As soon as that jammer's out, they're switching on to offense as quickly as they can to help out Tesla Coil. That's a very dynamic wall.
Yeah, Repercussion's doing some good work on the outside of the top straightaway, able to actually break a hole through and get... It looks like Tesla Coil still has not quite made it through the pack. And Tesla looking a little winded there on the top of that straightaway. Meanwhile, Colonel Mustard just taking what they can get. And, oh, nice offense on the inside of the straightaway from Bowtie, trying to push that Small Wonders wall.
Waka there at the back holding Colonel Mustard, helped out by Cannon, pushed off the outside line. I do believe we have a star pass there for Small Wonders. Star pass to the pivot in the front.
And Heartless putting on a couple of Blocka displays there at the top of the jam line.
That's Din Jammin, living up to the name.
Colonel Mustard slowing down and having a little bit of fun with the Small Wonders jammer there. That is Dinjamin, and Colonel Mustard. Colonel Mustard just having a little bit of fun right now, I think. Oh, I love seeing Colonel Mustard slow up just a little bit and just kind of like taking it easy. That was a 16-point jam for Colonel Mustard.
The People's Battle of Richmond is sponsored by Tri-Cities Gastro. They also sponsor our locker rooms, and they would like you to know that they have you covered from top to bottom because they're gastroenterologists. It's a butt joke.
That's a very great dad butt joke there. Puns in the morning, nothing's better.
Word on the street is that doctor spent 2 weeks coming up with different puns for us to put on their banner on the locker room.
And that pun that we just told you was the only one that's suitable to air for the live stream. So we will keep it at that. Meanwhile, we'll talk about the Power Jam brought to you by My Pussy's in Hell. So who knows what we're actually allowed to say here on the live stream.
We had to check.
All right, lead jam out there for Small One.
Crash
No!
Bangacooch.
Oh, brutal. That is Crash Bangakooch being called for a track cut. And for a moment there, I thought we were going to have a lead jam for Small Wonders. Instead, we're going to have a power jam for Barry and Betty. This power jam
What
brought
power
to you.
jam is that?
Well, this power jam is actually brought to you by My Pussies in Hell podcast, your favorite gruesome twosome podcast. Talking about sex, love, and relationships. Give it a listen on Spotify. And after talking about it for the last 2 days, I definitely will be at least listening to one episode just to see.
We have to.
I mean, you have to now. Betty making a great move to call off the jam, allowing a power start coming up for Brickyard. So Crash Bangakooch is already standing up, so we will get both jammers back onto the track fairly rapidly, but it will be a power start for Brickyard.
Lining up on that Plug It Up podcast jam line.
Thanks. Small Wonder, not Small Wonders. And it helps when you're the only jammer on the track, but Brickyard out as lead jam, as now Crash Bangakooch rejoins as well. Both jammers back on the track, but Brickyard already slicing and dicing through.
Brickyard leaving almost no time for Small Wonder to even organize their offense because she comes around so quickly. They're just like blink and you miss it.
And I want to start saying it, you got to bring it up early. Brickyard, perfect 4 for 4 on lead jams. We'll see if that trend has continued. I actually don't know if Brickyard was ever not a lead jam yesterday. I'll have to go back and check out the notes. That might be a heck of a streak going into a 2-day perfect lead jam streak. Stand by while I check the notes. Oh, no, there was one yesterday where Brickyard was not, so...
Oh, beautiful inside line there by Tesla Coil, just sliding right through.
And I think we've been waiting for a couple of minutes to see Tesla Coil break through as a lead jam. Meanwhile, we've got 88. That is Rumblebee putting on the star. First time for Rumblebee to be jamming today for Greenville. And with that was actually the first lead jam for Small Wonder Skate Club as well. So nicely done by Tesla Coil. We've seen Tesla very fast to the pack. We've seen a great matchup between Tesla and Colonel Mustard, both of them with a lot of speed.
Yeah, absolutely. Very fast on their feet. Little fight for the front here. Nobody willing to give up.
Slightly different setup there as the both walls move all the way up and leave the jam line kind of open. Both jammers able to get a running start. That is Barry and Betty, and I believe, let's see,
That's Harlot Oscara there jamming for Small Wonder. Can confirm, having played against Harlot, she hits hard, and she is fast.
Yeah, Harlot Oscara looks like she is definitely hunting Betty down, and very quick to keep up the pace there with Betty.
Lining up on that Plug It Up podcast jam line.
A very fast-moving game, very few penalties. I don't think we've actually had any timeouts yet, so we're really moving through this first game between Small Wonder and Greenville. That is Case to the inside, going up against Brickyard, and there it is, Brickyard out, but Case is out as well, so Small Wonder doing a nice job. Oh no, a forearm call.
Excellent offense there on the outside line by Small Wonder. Having a hard time seeing their jersey. Oh, that was 3-1. Repercussions with some beautiful offense for their jammer.
All for naught, though, is now the jammer for Small Wonder Case into the penalty box with a forearm. So a power jam brought to you by my Pussies in Hell podcast. So Brickyard out, trying to stretch out the lead a little bit. Greenville out early, 80-11.
Fantastic catch there in the back by Magnetron, holding back Brickyard. Again, an excellent catch by Repercussions. I'm getting the sense that Repercussions is one of those blockers who's just always where you don't want them. I'm getting a vibe.
You're getting a vibe. I'm getting a vibe as we see Heartless, number 323, come out to anchor the defense for Greenville. We'll see if we can shut down the Small Wonders scoring. And it looks like a momentary timeout's being taken, and that gives us a great opportunity to shout out one of our vendors, Ghost Girl Creative, Derby-owned, queer-owned. They got soft stuff, hard stuff, dead stuff. I actually got some awesome Christmas presents for one of our skaters back at Ghost Fleet yesterday. They have the neatest crochet like animals over at
the little
Ghost
crochet
Girl Creative.
creatures.
Yeah, the little crochet creatures. Like, if you want to check out some cool like Christmas presents, it's right around holidays right around the corner. Little stocking stuffers. They have tons of stuff over at the Ghost Girl Creative, and I can tell you, I'm a happy customer.
Look, man, if you're weird, go visit Ghost Girl Creative. So is she. The People's Battle of Richmond is sponsored by Body Arc, fitness that is independent of the noise. They're a very, very queer-friendly gym. Excellent space.
And if you like this game, our next WFTDA sanctioned game is coming up right after this. So our second game of the day is going to be starting at 11:15. That'll be the River City Riot, number 33 ranked team in the South region, taking on Fort Myers Roller to be the number 14 team. So stick around. Another great derby game coming up in just about 2 hours. Want to shout out Kinker Press, the great company that has been printing our programs. If you got a program in your hand, it is there, courtesy of Kinker Press.
I would like to shout out our game timer, Chilaquiles. Fantastic calling. Every time Keeley is jam timer, I get excited.
And we've seen this matchup a couple of times, Colonel Mustard and Tesla Coil, and out goes Colonel Mustard. And just like we talked about earlier, that Heartless defense, let's see, that is, yeah, Rumblebee and Heartless combining there with Abacus, I believe, a really nice tripod on the outside, recycling Tesla Coil. Oh, that was a nice move on the inside. Just at the top of turn 2, Tesla Coil able to kind of tiptoe and it just like sliced right through Heartless and Abacus. It was a nice move.
But to Bashanista's credit, she recovered very quickly, got back on her feet, and is rocking and rolling now. Excellent hit out to the inside there. That was from Waka. Waka was our MVP blocker yesterday.
All right, we'll see if Smashy Balls can help open up a lane to the inside for Barry and Betty. And there is Bulldozer and Smashly Balls trying to do some offense to the inside. Small Wonders doing a great job offensively pushing their jammer to the front of the pack, though.
That's Barry and Betty jamming for Greenville. Out for lead. Excellent hit by Smashly Balls. Jim Scary is up and fighting, though. Some nice, quick, like 3-second offense from Small Wonder there.
And you saw Bulldozer trying to give chase to Jim Scary there at the outside of turn 3 into turn 4. I like seeing when the blockers really put on the speed and try to get that one last hip check in before they're considered out of play. It's always like a foot race. And boy, I mean, nothing gets it moving like watching blockers chase down jammers.
And those jammers are just running. It's like you think you're safe, and then you've got 20 more feet. Well, and Greenville has broken the century mark. Small wonder at 19.
So it's fairly early into the game to break the century mark, as we've got a lead jam out for Greenville already, and that is number 22, a new jammer. That's Bones actually jamming for Greenville now.
I do believe that was a track cut penalty.
Oh, it was a track cut.
Magnetron.
Yeah, track cut on Magnetron. That'll be a power jam now for Greenville. And Bones not usually a jammer for Greenville, at least not in this tournament thus far. We haven't seen Bones put the star on yet, so it's always, for a skater that doesn't typically jam, to then get thrust right into a power jam is always like a real test of endurance right away. Oh, a multiplayer block being called at the top of the pack there. So I believe that is number 28 for Small Wonder. That is Rekka. So they are headed to the penalty box. That multiplayer block called there as Bones trying to work their way through. And now the tripod. Case, we saw Case jamming quite a bit yesterday, and now Case is the peak of that tripod that is doing a phenomenal job of just literally, I don't think Bones is moving even an inch forward right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That was an impenetrable wall.
Yeah, that was an impenetrable wall with Case right there at the top. Anchored there with repercussions.
Called it. Small Wonder starting a skater down. So they have as Rekka's in the box still. Brickyard just flying by on that outside line. Lilo and Stitches giving some heavy hits there to the Small Wonder jammer.
And when Brickyard's out there jamming, the star seems to come off quickly there for whether it's Fort Myers or whether it's Small Wonder now today. So, and that could not have come at a worse time. Tesla Coil, the pivot for Small Wonder, being sent to the penalty box.
Yeah, that was a reaching for the pivot panty high block.
Yeah, so Din Jammin was looking to do a star pass, but now with Tesla Coil in the box, Din Jammin having to put the star back on, and the star's still in hand. So I don't know if that pass will actually count, but Din Jammin now putting the star back on. And just when Din Jammin thought she was going to be able to like pass that star off, it was not to be.
You know, it can still be a strategic move to have the star off even if the pivot isn't on the track, at the very least, because it's hard to keep track of who's the jammer. If you all have the same color helmet, it's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's often it's a good tactic, obviously, if you're not the lead jammer, and we're going to get a Greenville timeout. If you're not the lead jammer, it's not a terrible idea to just immediately take the star off and put it in your hand and start working on a star pass. At the same time, I almost feel like at this high level of skating, like they're not fooling anyone. I don't think that anybody in Greenville's blocking wall. I don't think anybody in Greenville's wall did not know that Din Jammin was the jammer on that last jam.
They were certainly making moves. I would be focusing on the person bopping around from line to line.
Yeah, and that's where pivot talk is so important to really anchor your defense and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Hey, did you all know that we have a raffle going for some beautiful, beautiful raffle baskets? It's one ticket for $3, two for $5, and an arm's length, anybody's arm, for $10. And yes, you can drag over a friend with long arms, and we will accept it. Punky is waving her long arms, for example. The raffle table to buy tickets is at the back by the merch table.
Find you a good 6'3" tall skater and use their arm's length. That's what I would do.
Yeah, grab Willem Dafoe. Use her arms.
Yeah, get Willem Dafoe's arm over there and get a raffle and an arm's length of tickets. Colonel Mustard out, lead jam now for Greenville. Crash Bangakooch. A trap cut being called, I believe.
Ooh, an attempted apex jump. I think it's the biggest apex jump I've seen in this tournament so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen a successfully landed apex jump. Centea from Fort Myers tried one yesterday and almost landed it. And so I guarantee you by the end of the weekend, either Brickyard or Colonel Mustard or Centea is able to land one of those apex jumps.
Look out for Cannabelle Lee on Riot. She's well known for like a little line hop. She has so much speed, she just flies.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Cannibal Lee's endurance looks like after Cannibal played both for the Rats in the early game and then again for the Riot. So, you know, if you're going to play 2 games every day for 3 days straight, I mean, you're going to be gassed. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Cannibal maybe not jamming today for the Riot in our next game and instead trying to save themselves up for this matchup, highly anticipated matchup tomorrow between the Greenville Apex Predators and the River City Riot. I wouldn't jam Cannibal Lee today. Not the Red Ball. Yeah. I wouldn't jam her. It depends on how the Fort Myers game is going, but I probably wouldn't jam her for that game either. And just under 7 minutes remaining in the first half as Greenville's up 136-19 and Colonel Mustard just pushing that Small Wonders wall forward. Tesla Coil trying to anchor the defense there, but not able to hold up Colonel Mustard.
Oh, and that's Crash Bangakooch going to the box.
Oh, no, that is the second penalty on this jam for Crash Bangakooch, which means we'll get a power start now for Greenville as Barry and Betty takes the track. And there is Villain Defoe right at the top of the wall, trying to anchor that up with Bulldozer. Bulldozer trying to move and make an inside. Great hit by Bulldozer right on the outside of turn 1 against repercussions.
I don't know who to focus on to talk about the Greenville's offense because it was all so pretty.
Yeah, it's very pristine, and we've seen a lot of Smashley,
Yep,
a lot
Smashley
of
balls
Bulldozer.
here in that inside line.
And we'll see how this trio of Greenville blockers does offense. Smashley making a hold of the inside, Bulldozer making a hold of the outside, so Barry and Betty really has kind of, you know, the pick of where they want to go. Villain Defoe and Tree Trunk. Tree Trunk was like a tree trunk, knocking Crash Bangakooch out on the inside of turn 2.
Yeah, Villain Defoe was doing a really great job doing that power jam of just watching the box and letting her teammates handle it in the front and not being too fussed about it, and then immediately being able to switch back to defense. You know, the floor's slippery. It's a very slippery floor. It happens. That's what the pads are for.
So shout out to all the fans who made it here for this early, awesome Greenville Small Wonder. Let's go roller derby, that's right. Cannon Doll X giving it up for the shout there. Let's go roller derby, and I like the spirit. Oh, a no pack quickly called and right on the heels of that no
there
pack.
On JK Jakes.
So you saw how quickly that multiplayer block was called after that no pack. So that was a very, very quick call by the refs. And
excellent hit to the outside there from Southpaw Smasher on Greenville.
Lilo and Stitches putting a huge hit there on the outside of turn 1 on Tesla Coil and really stopped Tess in their tracks.
Cannon said, let's go, so we have to go.
That's right, let's go, Cannon.
3 minutes left in this half as the next pack takes the Plug It Up Podcast jam line.
So we've seen this quad of blockers several times now. That's Rumblebee, that is Abacus, that is Heartless, and I believe that is Bowtie. So that quad, almost a power wall, if you want to call it that, for Greenville.
You know, Bowtie had an excellent game yesterday as well. They're really great at holding the back and getting that run back.
And Greenville having some fun. Tree Trunk getting the star, having watched Tree Trunk just put on some huge
I think this is the first time we've seen Tree Trunk jam this morning.
It is the first time Tree Trunk has jammed this morning, and they went back-to-back blocking and then straight to jamming. So just over 2 minutes here. We probably got, what, 2, maybe 3 jams left, depending on how fast they are calling these jams off.
Depending on how much the jammers would like to suffer.
I don't think it's suffering at this point. I think it's just pure fun, even this early in the morning. And that is Bulldozer.
That's Bulldozer jamming.
Bulldozer jamming.
Y'all better look out.
Be still my beating heart. Watching Bulldozer put a shoulder into... I can't barely describe what I just watched. And Bo Strangle's able to skate off the track under her own power, which is great, under their own power. And good to see Bo Strangle's up on their skates. And I'd say, I think maybe the wind got knocked out of Bo there. Bulldozer living up to the name. I tell you, if Bulldozer is going to block the way that she blocks, and then Bulldozer is going to put the star on and literally just put shoulders into sternums, I mean, that is a force to be reckoned with as Greenville works their way through the rest of this tournament.
I wondered what came first, the derby name or the ability? It's like a chicken or the egg. Did she become a bulldozer, or was she born a bulldozer?
I think that it's got to be a reflection of your personality, too, as we see Brickyard getting ready to pivot. So Greenville kind of shifting a little bit into some non-standard, so we're going to have an official timeout. So Greenville shifting into a slightly non-standard jammers.
Do you believe that was an official review called by Small Wonder? Definitely an official review, I believe, Small Wonder. People's Battle of Richmond is sponsored by Haunts of Richmond. They're locally owned and operated, and they're celebrating 20 years as Richmond's haunted history professionals. They do public tours, private tours, and special events are offered year-round. Tickets are available at hauntsofrichmond.com, and check them out on all social media.
And while you're at it, you can go over and check out some more of our vendors. Tilted Head Curios, Derby-owned dead stuff. So ethically made oddities and art. They are queer-owned, and they have got lots of interesting artwork and odds and ends. Yeah.
So many teeth.
Teeth, yeah, the jawbones. So many teeth. The jawbones were really intriguing to see those like painted jawbones over there. They were kind of neat.
Yeah, one of my favorites, she made a hanging jawbone, and instead of teeth, it had headstones. Very talented artist. Go check her out. And she plays for River City, your hosting league.
Well, there you go. Shout out to our EMTs. They are like the insurance policy we said yesterday. You don't want to use them, but boy, you'd hate it if they weren't there when you needed them. So a huge shout out to the EMTs providing our medical services today for our skaters and making sure everybody's checked out and skating safely. So it looks like our official review is coming to a conclusion, and we will let you know in just a few minutes what that official review actually was.
I am not seeing Bulldozer in the box, though, so if that's what they were reviewing, it looks like Small Wonder might have lost that official review.
And Bulldozer felt like maybe she was denied the opportunity to do a full jam, so Bulldozer is going to get to jam again. So let's see if Bulldozer puts another shoulder down. Oh, a hip instead.
Hit out there by Case on the inside, saying, no, not bulldozing me.
Oh, to the outside, and oh, there it was. So Bulldozer doing it again, and Repercussions getting the full dose of the Bulldozer hip check on the outside of turn 1. I'm fan geeking out a little bit here watching Bulldozer jam.
A little bit as well. I'm also really impressed by Repercussions, though. I think I called it earlier in the game. She's always where you don't want her, and handling those hits really well.
Yeah, Repercussions right back up on the skates very quickly following that hit. So that's something that doesn't get talked about enough is the agility and just the, for lack of a better word, the toughness, the mental and physical toughness of derby skaters to pop right back up on their skates after taking a shot like that.
It's scary seeing somebody bear down on you like that, but these small wonder blockers are undaunted. Looking to find Magnetron. I think they're behind the officials. I can't see them. It looks like they're just grinding against this Greenville wall.
And Bulldozer getting systematically recycled a couple of times there by Case and I believe by Jim Scary. So Bulldozer's just having a good time out there, letting it run, letting the penalty kill really, and getting their other blocker back onto the track. And that jam comes to conclusion, and it looks like we will see a timeout being taken momentarily. And it gives us a chance to shout out Sacred Roller Skate Supply, your source for high-quality skates and gear, custom builds, and community engagement. Queer-owned and operated since 2020, Sacred brings not only a unique passion for fostering a supportive environment for skaters of all levels and identities, but also industry-leading brands to support a safe skating lifestyle. Whether it's roller derby, park skating, rink, or recreational, Sacred has you covered, and they've got a merch section right there by the entrance doors to the exhibit hall, and bring your wallet because there is, I have never seen a gear shop at a roller derby tournament that doesn't almost sell out of almost everything that they bring.
Oh, yeah. I'm assuming Sacred brought their stickiest wheels. So if anybody needs stickier wheels. But honestly, their Sacred is great. I have had great experiences with Katie, who owns Sacred. They've been fantastic supporting our rookies. They will come hang out at a rookie practice to be able to set them up with new gear. Just a fantastic business. I'm so glad that we are close to them.
So Iggy, since you're skating for River City Rats today, what are you skating on? What wheels are you skating on today on this polished concrete of the convention center?
I'm on 84s.
Oh, wow.
So on sticky wooden floors, I skate in 99s because I'm big and heavy and the floor loves me. I generate a lot of friction. So I've been fine in the 84s. I haven't felt exceptionally slidey. I do know some small lightweight skaters who are in like 73s, 78s.
Oh, wow. That's very low. So, I mean, I've seen some skaters in 88s, and even in the 88s, they're sliding around quite a bit.
Yeah. I happen to have very grippy 84s.
Yeah, you'd hate to be out on the track in like 94s or 96s right now. You would just be
ice skating.
Yeah, it would
Bambi
be ice
on
skating.
ice. Shout out to our NSOs. Our game is being officiated today by Mazaliam, Sheila Keeley's, who's our jam timer, Kelsey Grammer, Jessica Jabbett, Faye Your Name, No Ship Sherlock, Shady Spines, Lexicon, The Thundertaker, and Jill. Thank you so much for officiating our game today.
So we're having just a little bit of clock discussions, and we're going to see if there was time left on the clock, and if we'll get one more jam, or if that jam expired, and we are into intermission. So we've got one of our referees talking with the scorers table and the head NSO table, so as soon as we know, you'll know. But all the skaters are out on the track, so it looks like the skaters think we're going to get one more jam out of this. And I mean, if it's going to be the last jam, then I really want to hear Cannon Daleks give us a big ol' let's go roller derby again? Let's go roller derby?
That's what I'm saying. Cannon, I think we need a let's go roller derby. Someone quote Cannon.
Someone tell Cannon we need a let's go roller derby here for this last jam of the first half.
They cannot hear us. They sure can't.
Cannon is locked in right now.
Did you know that Cannon and I have a special handshake?
I can believe that you do have a special handshake, and I kind of want to see it now.
It's a very tall people high five. Sort of
Tall
giants.
people high fives, that'll do it. So this will be the final jam now. We did get some time put back on the clock, so we'll see how
Small
long
Wonder
this...
Jammers in the box, making this a power jam. Oh, Smashly Balls is jamming.
Oh, now I am being spoiled. I get to watch Bulldozer and Smashly Balls both put the star on for Greenville. And yep.
Our live stream operator would like me to say that this is a power jam sponsored by My Pussies in Hell podcast, your favorite gruesome twosome.
Smashly Balls moving outside.
Excellent
Big hit
catch
there against
there
Cannon.
by J.K. Jakes and Cannon.
J.K.
It's hard
Jakes
holding it
through the
as a
hip.
two-wall.
Yeah, Jake's through the hips out there, not able to hold Smashly Balls back.
Oh, Smashly with a great dodge there around Cannon Doll X.
Oh, nice offense coming into the back of the pack there. That was really nice offense, I believe, from a Small
I do
Wonder.
believe that's Abacus there playing some offense for Smashly Balls as well.
I think that was Waka, actually. Waka, the team captain, putting in the offensive work to try to get their jammer through.
That was a 16-point jam for Smashly Balls. That is nothing to blink at.
Let's go.
There it is, Cannon.
There it is, Cannon. And with that, we are in intermission now, and as we take a 15-minute break, Greenville up 189-23 over Small Wonder in this, our first game of the day here at the PBR tournament, brought to you by River City Roller Derby.
Halftime, what an excellent time to go buy a raffle ticket or some merch. All right, y'all, we'll see you in 15 minutes. Second half. Boxers.
A couple of scoreboard issues, but as soon as we get our scoreboard back up here and running, we will get back into Derby action for this second half of our Small Wonder versus Greenville Apex Predators sanctioned bout and our first bout of the second day of our PBR tournament.
You know, Split, I do believe that Small Wonders might be showing off their breakdancing skills at this moment to try to intimidate Greenville. I think this is a psychological tactic.
Oh, it looks like Cannon is now doing the robot. I mean, and now straight into a, yes,
if
that
I were
is still the
Greenville,
robot.
I would be very scared.
Dancing like that since the Olympics.
You mean they have that in the Olympics and not roller derby?
I mean,
Come on, the derby skaters can do both. They can be both events.
it's between that or it's between the dance-off in Euro Trip between Scotty and Le Robo.
I think this is how derby matches should be won, actually, is who's a better dancer. Yeah, absolutely. Dance off to decide the game.
Yes, a dance-off straight out of Euro Trip is the only way that ties will be decided from now on. Everybody over the age of 35 knows exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Scotty and the robot dancing off. Waiting in line outside the Louvre, I believe, if I remember the movie correctly.
Yeah, definitely have not seen that, but thanks, Split, for making
No,
that
you have not
reference.
seen Euro Trip? Oh my gosh, Iggy, not only are you dating yourself, you're depriving yourself. I tell you, you go back and you watch some of the movies that got made in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and there is a 0% chance you could make any of those movies today. They are wildly offensive. And we won't talk about that anymore because our scoreboard is back up and running. So we are ready for our second half. Greenville out in front, 29-23. And I would expect to see Greenville probably shift to some more non-standard jamming for the remainder of this second game. But, you know, it's a dichotomy because it is a sanctioned bout. They are going for rankings. So at some point, you do want to really score the maximum number of points possible.
Is that tree trunk jamming for Greenville? I'm getting to the point that I can recognize their faces, which is a little scary. Although Case is out and running. They were our MVP jammer yesterday for a reason.
And then I believe there's Barry and Betty actually jamming.
Oh,
Yep,
you're
Barry
right.
and Betty.
Yep. See, I can't recognize their faces. Case just getting around the hips of Bulldozer there.
Oh, Bulldozer actually getting ricocheted off of Case there.
And
Not
picking up
often
a
you
penalty
see
there.
Bulldozer go for a hit and not successfully land it solidly. So kudos to Case for able to bounce off that hit.
Woo!
And a nice
Apex jump
skip and
from Case.
What a
Our
skip and a
first
jump there.
successful Apex jump of the morning. It's Derby. We're on now.
There you go. That'll get the blood pumping. Apex jumps as Tesla Coil now puts the star on for Small Wonder. And I think that is Brickyard coming back out to jam for Greenville. All right, Greenville backing their wall up. A skater down with Bulldozer still in the penalty box. We'll see if that impacts Brickyard. And before I could even finish the thought,
Waka to the pack on a forearm call, leaving Small Wonder with just 2 blockers on the track. Although one of them is...
Yeah, that is
oh
number
my God,
31.
my face. Repercussions, so that's like a blocker and a half because she's always in the right spot.
Yeah, Repercussions and Jim Scary out there. Repercussions doing a great job anchoring the defensive walls today for Small Wonder. So Din Jammin with the pivot stripe on. Din Jammin, only 2 blockers on the track right now for Small Wonder. That I got. Oh, nicely done though. Din Jammin able to really quickly move
see, that
outside.
one's too trunk.
But we see Tree Trunk able to finally work back to the inside. So 2 blockers are a detriment there to
And there's
trying
Harlot
to hold.
Oscara off of her initial. A little bit of blocker on blocker offense, defense, who knows? All of the above. Greenville pivot to the box.
I think that was Bones being called on a potentially a blocking out of play. And that'll give Scarlett a lead, or Harlot Oscara a lead, no, a power jam. I didn't even see the jammer Tree Trunks go to the box there. So a power jam for Harlot Oscara trying to get stood up against Bulldozer. Oh, we've seen this. Bulldozer's shoulder is a weapon of mass destruction in this tournament thus far.
I will say, though, Harlot's not one to be counted out. She's very strong. And Tree Trunk is very sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky.
Yeah, sneaky, sneaky back on the track and back into scoring action. Full power, or full 2-minute jam now. Thrash Panda getting held up by, here comes that hip check. And Bulldozer able to successfully knock Harlot Oscara out of bounds.
Really excellent track awareness there from Harlot Oscara. One back wheel went out of bounds, and that was enough for her to be like, no, I got to get out.
You know, it is, though. It is that one back wheel that'll catch you off guard. Meanwhile, Din Jammin over to the penalty box. So once again, Small Wonder having to start this next jam down a blocker. Can we talk about it if I get to 400 points?
Also, apparently, whatever we muttered, just for the record. They heard me earlier talking about villain being like the same.
There's Barry and Betty as
Just for you guys.
Greenville opens up a comfortable lead and through on a lead jam, able to split between, and that is Repercussions on the inside and another blocker to the box. I believe that was
Reaper and Magnetron there fighting in the front. Reaper trying to get a hit on Bulldozer and just barely glancing off.
a track cut now being called on Case. So you saw, I don't know if you saw Villain Defoe and Bulldozer and Smashley.
Hey, Split, what kind of power jam is this?
I believe this Power Jam is brought to you by My Pussies in Hell, the podcast that talks about sex, love, relationships, and is going to be my first listen on the car ride home after this tournament.
Yeah, that and the Plug It Up podcast, who's our Jamline sponsor, is just going to have to be on repeat.
So I don't know if you saw the cycling of the blockers from Greenville. So Villain Defoe and Smashley and Bulldozer able to just one after the other cycle to push Case farther and farther out of bounds, almost like you were referring to earlier, using the the boundary line as almost a fourth blocker.
Right, yeah, really dragging them to a side and then holding them there.
And no surprise that we get Barry and Betty now throwing a little bit of a hip check into Case. Just a little jammer on jammer love. You know, no big deal. It's just a good morning, Bob's your uncle.
At that point, it's a bump of affection.
It is just like
It's a little bit like, hey, buddy.
Hey,
how's it going?
We're both out here doing the thing. Let's go roller derby.
Let's go roller derby!
There it is. That's what I wanted to hear. There it was from Cannon. Put that good energy out there and it'll get reflected back at you. Tesla Coil getting ready to jam again for Small Wonder.
People's Battle of Richmond is sponsored by Bingo Beer Co. They are our after-party location tomorrow night, Sunday night. They're at 2900 West Broad Street, and they'll be running a pizza and beer special for us. And they actually play bingo on Sunday nights. So if you want to be so excited to play bingo and have pizza, go to Bingo Beer Co.
Tesla Coil doing a nice job working outside in, and unfortunately getting nowhere. It looks like that's Rumblebee. We talked about that jamming quad, that power wall earlier in the first half.
Beautiful positional blocking from Waka at the back there, holding Bricklayer, just able to stay in the right spot in front of Bricklayer for a solid 20 seconds there. Really great lateral movement from both Bricklayer and Waka.
Yeah, and really enjoy watching that blocking quad. That is Bowtie and I believe Heartless with Rumblebee and I think Abacus. The four skaters together are really a power wall. And every time you see them on the track for Greenville, it's usually when either Brickyard or Colonel Mustard are jamming. So interesting to see how Greenville really opens up large holes with their offense to get their jammers through.
Oh, little spin move there from Mustard.
And then is Cannon coming back to try to do a little offense for Harlot Oscara. And Cannon to the box now. Harlot Oscara trying to get a little bit of help, but not able to as
Colonel Mustard able to use that no-pack call to her advantage. When a no-pack is called, the blockers in front cannot continue blocking. They don't have to get out of your way, but they can't continue blocking. And Colonel Mustard knows that and just dodges around.
So Din Jammin briefly put on the star there, but the jam's called off before Din can make it back around to start scoring.
It's been interesting to watch these blockers lining up on the Plug It Up podcast jam line. I guess they're on the pivot line. But these blockers fighting for the front, it's really an advantage to not get in the way of your own jammer if you're in the front. You don't end up getting squished by the other pack. So it makes sense that they're all fighting for that space and that breathing room to move forward if they need to.
Yeah, and I think we haven't seen any jammers in this game really get a running start. They've all been starting right on the jam line. I think Warp Speed yesterday for Naptown was probably one of the only jammers we saw, almost between turn 3 and 4 get a running start.
Oh yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, that was scary.
That was very
but a
scary
lot of
to
speed
see as a
build
blocker.
up.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so Warp Speed was able to build up quite a bit of speed in that Naptown game by starting well in between turn 3 and 4 and then getting ahead of steam before they hit the back of the pack. So different tactics, different techniques here as we watch Derby throughout the weekend.
Speaking of, I'm noticing this Greenville wall playing a lot of passive offense, less of, well, I don't know what they're about to do right now, but less of throwing really, really crazy hits and more like just hanging out and drawing the pack back.
Yeah, I think they're very much, you'll see two blockers from Greenville kind of like on either side of the track as their jammer approaches, and that's really to just clear a lane and allow their jammer to kind of pick their point of attack. So Betty able to just attack the back of the Small Wonder wall exactly where she wants.
I'd be interested to see if we're going to see more passive blocking, or sorry, more passive offense during this tournament because it's less strenuous for your endurance. If you can just hang out and stretch the pack and not have to be throwing hits, it saves your energy for later in the tournament.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be in the mind a little bit for Greenville. So Greenville has the benefit of them playing the first game today, but then they don't actually play again until the last game tomorrow. So they are the 3:45 game tomorrow going up against River City Riot. So almost a day and a half to recuperate after this.
Lucky Ducks.
Same for the Riot. So stick around. The game following this one is the River City Riot against Fort Myers Roller Derby, our second WIFTDA sanctioned game of the day. And that'll feature the number 14 ranked Fort Myers Roller Derby taking on the number 33 ranked River City Riot. That is rankings in the South region of the WFTDA.
Oh, and Small Wonder only has 2 blockers on the track right now. That's a tough position to be in when you're switching from offense to defense.
And Tesla Coyle, the jammer for Small Wonder, basically reduced to trying to do some defense on Brickyard there. Brickyard, a almost pseudo apex jump, able to slide right past, and that was a dodge, duck, dip, dive, dodge.
Brickyard pulling my favorite move of all time, a t-shirt whip off of Abacus, just using the stretchiness of Abacus's jersey to whip herself around like a slingshot. Love to see a t-shirt whip.
Well, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a blocker. So Brickyard putting on a...
I got that one.
Hey, there we go.
Yay.
That's another early 2000s movie reference for all of you out there.
Let's call out one of our excellent vendors, Fifth City Print Club. If you've been seeing the really cool roller derby tarot cards t-shirts, that's Fifth City. They are a derby-owned business, or River City Skaters. And they're locally owned, and they're handmade, hand-printed t-shirts. So go check out their designs. They're very cute. Also, they said apparel and more. I don't know what the more is. Oh, I have a sticker from them. I do know what the more is. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, they had the really awesome tarot card derby t-shirts that I really liked. Yeah, the tarot card derby shirts you were mentioning yesterday. Those are really neat over at Fifth City.
I like the ones of 2 blockers running into each other that says, your girlfriend's a good kisser. Personal fave. "17 minutes left in this half. We are at 268, 238.
So just about 17 minutes left here, and now the only question really is how far can Greenville stretch this out? Again, remember, as a sanctioned game, you know, in some ways it's almost in Greenville's best interest to continue to maximize scoring right here, since this is a rankings game. But again, Greenville already ranked number 8 in the South region, so a top 10 team within the region, really kind of putting on display exactly why they are ranked so highly.
Absolutely. This is one of those games where, you know, playing with such a highly ranked team that it's really less about winning and more about, am I playing well even though I am losing? I mean, in this case, I think Small Wonder is playing great. I'm seeing a lot of really beautiful offense to defense transitions, some very quick feet from their jammers. This is nothing to be upset about for them, I think.
I think Rekka got sent to the box there for a multiplayer block, so we'll see if Repercussions and the rest of the Small Wonder defense can try to slow up Barry and Betty, but it's not to be. Betty calling that off as Case finally makes it back around to the back of the pack. So a little bit slower pace in this second half, so we've only got 10 jams completed basically halfway through this half. And I don't know if you remember, or if anyone else was watching the Fort Myers Greenville game yesterday. It was a breakneck pace. I mean, I think we had something like 24, 25 jams in the first half of that game yesterday. So a little bit more of a stretched out pace here.
Yeah, and we also saw both packs running a lot yesterday, like very, very fast packs running away from the jammers. And we're seeing less of that today. This is a much slower, more defensive game, which is easier to announce. Thanks, guys.
And so you kind of wonder if maybe that's a reflection again of the fact that it is a 3-day tournament and these teams have to play again tomorrow in another high-level game. So a timeout now being taken by Small Wonder. And that gives us a chance to shout out all of our awesome volunteers. If you look around inside the exhibit hall today, you're going to see lots of volunteers that all got together to put on this amazing event. It takes just a ton of work to put together the vendors and the tents and the concessions and the scorekeeping and the NSOs and the refereeing, and it just a huge team effort on River City's part and on behalf of all of our volunteers here today. So if you're a volunteer, give yourself a pat on the back. You deserve it for all the hard work you are doing today. Another one of our great sponsors, Equinox Counseling. Thanks to Equinox Behavioral Health, explore, learn, share, evolve. A wonderful sponsor here of the PBR tournament at the Greater Richmond Convention Center here, Equinox Counseling.
Places, everyone, places. Bit of a slow start there off of the Plug It Up podcast jam line.
Oh, wow. Lilo and Stitch is one of the blockers for Greenville, doing an outstanding job opening up an inside line. That was a very clear skating lane for Greenville's jammer. A huge hit. I think that was Mina Cat Scratch.
We're cool.
Yeah, Mina Cat Scratch put a hip into Colonel Mustard that Colonel Mustard was like, no, I'm not doing that.
I'm solid. I'm not
we're not getting up from that. I'm going to call it off from this seat down here.
I know we said it before, but it's worth saying again. This floor is so slippery and so slidey. The fact that the skaters are staying on their feet as much as they are is a real testament to their skill and their stability.
Yeah, well, like you referenced earlier, skating on like 73s or even like 80s.
Some 78s, yeah.
78s,
some like sticky outdoor wheels.
Like it's terrifying to think that an 84 might even be not sticky enough for this floor.
The key to wearing 84s is to be heavy. Generate friction.
Bulldozer doing some great offense right there. A forearm called on, I believe, Repercussions. So Repercussions heading to the box as a Bulldozer makes a hole and springs the jammer for Greenville, Barry and Betty. Oh, and 716, a forearm penalty called.
Fashionista. Excellent, beautiful hit out to the inside line, unfortunately resulting in a penalty.
So it's a fine line between, putting your shoulder down and doing the chicken wing.
Oh, beautiful dodge there from Case. Bulldozer came after her, and she was able to rotate her shoulders around Bulldozer and get around.
Yeah, it's a fine line. As soon as that chicken wing starts to leave the body, that forearm block, and the referee's right on there on top of it to call Fashionista.
Yeah, like this.
That's a forearm, Iggy. You can't be doing that over here.
We don't even have our mouth guards in.
All right, power wall out on the track for Greenville. I'm not really sure if it is a power wall, but every time that quad is out, it seems like enormous holes are created, kind of just like that one. But you got to put also some of that on the fancy footwork of Brickyard.
Such pretty footwork. And we've got the Small Wonder Wall up front trying to protect their points, keeping their hips in front of Brickyard as long as they can.
So Waka doing a nice job offensively pushing Heartless out of the way to try to create some offense. So, yeah, a little blocker on blocker action. And that is Harlot O'Scara. Scara? I want to say Scara, like Scarlett O'Hara, but
like
Harlot
it's
O'Scara.
Like scare you, like me.
Scara?
Scary. Me.
But is it Scar like I'll leave scars on you when I hit you?
We'll ask next time.
Oh, Smashly Balls putting the star on. I'm geeking out a little bit now for Greenville.
Some nice O from Lilo and Stitches there on the inside line. Scooting the Small Wonder pivot out of the way. Harlot was running that one, though, to catch up to Smashly. Putting on good pressure. You can't just, dilly-dally, take my time.
Yeah, that was Lilo and Stitches and Thrash Panda doing a nice job of sweeping the Small Wonder wall kind of to the outside of turn 1, turn 2, and just letting Smashly Balls an easy, wide-open inside lane. So nice offense by the wall there for Greenville.
It would have been nice to see Smashly throw down, but I'm sure she appreciates not having to do that.
Would have been nice to see Smashly throw down. I'm
That'd
curious.
be so fun.
I'm curious to see if we'll get to see the star on Bulldozer anymore after the.
I know I've been talking about Reaper a lot, repercussions, but just the fantastic positional, always being in front of the jammer and tracking the jammer super, super well. I'm sorry, I interrupted your thought.
No. I think you're exactly right. Small Wonder really starting to coalesce as a team on their blocking. Fashionista and Repercussions both doing a nice job of duo blocking with Cannon up there kind of holding the tripod. And there goes Bulldozer trying to offensively break up a little bit of that blocking. Cannon and Bulldozer going at it a little bit, entering turn 3.
A cut there called on Cannon Doll X right at the end. That was some really great bridging from Small Wonder. I think a little bit earlier in the game, I saw them get a no-pack, and every single blocker yielded. And in this case, I saw them get a no-pack and go ahead and drop a couple of blockers to bridge. They realized they had too many bridges. The other blocker joined the pack again. Much more organized bridging and pack definition than what I saw earlier today.
Yeah, you're right. And we were talking about that. The Small Wonder blocking walls doing a nice job coalescing in the second half, doing exactly what you're talking about, bridging out a little bit instead of just like releasing the jammers when the no-pack call comes out.
And that's really a matter of communication. So I can't hear them super well, but I'm going to say their communication is getting better and better.
All right, now, Iggy, did that count as an apex jump? Because that sure didn't look like one.
That was an apex hippity hop.
That was an apex hippity hop. You know what? Hippity
hop.
You
heard it here first.
Hippity hops
and jumps count. It's an official derby term.
I mean, I feel like Brickyard started that apex jump right at the plug it up jam line and landed. So, I mean, like Brickyard had to clear some of the curve there at turn 1. So, I mean, I'm going to call that an apex jump.
Fine. To be honest, successful apex jumps are really a matter of speed. It's like speed and a little hop, and you just fly. Which for Brickyard is absolutely true. She's so fast.
Yeah, you definitely have to be able to launch yourself off of the toe stops.
Colonel Mustard, they're able to wrap around the front around Mina Cat Scratch.
Yeah, Crash Bangakooch and Cat Scratch doing a nice job. And I believe that's Harlot O'Scara, Scara. Yep, pivoting there for Small Wonder. Cannon back on the track now as well, adding some of that power. Looks like, yeah, Bones and now Lilo and Stitches trying to do a little offense.
And that's Jin Jammin there in the back with the star off, looking for their pivot. But unfortunately, her pivot just went to the box. It's 30
Yeah.
more seconds of jamming for Jen Jammin'.
Yeah, Harlot called for a low block there in between turns 1 and 2, so star in hand now. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, like nothing worse for Din Jammin' than to be looking around for a pivot. And now a track cut called on Din Jammin'. So we'll see both the pivot and the jammer sharing some time with Small Wonders. So as Din Jammin' takes a seat, this will be a power start for Greenville.
Brought to you by both the My Pussies in Hell podcast and the Plug It Up podcast, because we're on the Plug It Up jam line. They should collaborate. They should do like a joint, I don't know, I think one does horror and one does dating stuff. Surely there's crossover.
I mean, I don't know. I think if you say them both fast and together, Plug It Up, My Pussies in Hell, like the two podcasts together, it's probably inappropriate, borderline offensive, Iggy. So maybe we'll just keep the podcast names separate.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe let's not.
That's a good idea, though. I
Merge.
saw what you were saying, though. I was right there with you. Tree Trunk with a star on for Greenville. And this power start. Nice move inside out by Tree Trunks.
You know, I've been really noticing Tree Trunk as a very solid blocker today, but they are nothing to sneeze at as a jammer either. Really a triple threat there.
So we've seen Tree Trunk.
Star pass to Harlot Oscara. Harlot Oscara is your jammer for Small Wonder.
Oh my God,
And it's on the outside.
Bulldozer, another enormous
and
rock
moving.
solid hit. So
Yeah, this concrete floor, in addition to being slippery, is also just so hard. You hit it and you feel it in your bones. Your bones vibrate.
not what you want to land on, and Bulldozer putting on yet another blocking display. Just a lot of hard hits. You could probably make just like a greatest hits, literal hits compilation of Bulldozer.
Absolutely. Those social media accounts exist.
I would buy that DVD.
All right, 5 minutes left in this half. 5 minutes left in this game.
So probably the two fastest jammers, respectively, for their teams on the track now, Brickyard and Tesla Coil. So we saw Tesla Coil and Colonel Mustard going head-to-head a couple of times in the first half. I'm not sure if we've seen Tesla Coil and Brickyard side by side yet, but Brickyard and Tesla Coil both...
Multiplayer there called on JK Jakes. Be interested to see the penalty distribution for this game. I feel like it's been a pretty high penalty game.
It was a high penalty game, and you saw Bowtie doing some offense on Jim Scary and getting the track cut call that they were looking for. So Bones pushing Jim Scary out of bounds, recycling a blocker back. So that's really the sign of a good offensive wall, is you're getting track cuts on the other blockers.
Right. It's smart and strategic, hitting them out and then kind of moving your butt. Also, I would like to call out some really excellent stopping power from Brickyard there. Stopped like 2 inches in front of the referee, Colonel Angus, instead of taking him out.
Well, your referees are volunteers too, and you want them to be,
We love our
with some
zebras.
respect. Treated with some
Don't
respect
take out
there.
our zebras.
All right, Rumblebee, the pivot for Greenville in the box. So Lilo.
A little duckaroony from Case. Little bean dip.
So we've seen Lilo and Stitches and Thrash Panda doing a great job, a smart blocking duo.
People's Battle of Richmond is sponsored by the Fox and Lamb.
So it looks like 111, that is Lilo and
Why are
Stitches
there
called on
so
a penalty
few
right
players?
there, sweeping the jammer out of bounds entering turn 1.
That is a busy penalty box. I think for a second there we had more players in the box than we did on the track.
So I'm not sure if that is a reflection of the fact that we're into the second half and we're getting a little winded on our legs. But yeah, the penalty box has seen a lot of action in these last 4 or 5 jams.
Yeah, it could be a combination of tired skaters, a slippery floor, of skaters trying to, make something happen in the last couple minutes.
All right, Harlow Oscara getting ready to jam for Small Wonder.
It's nice to see the crowd here in the Greater Richmond Convention Center filling out a little bit. I made a joke at the beginning of the game. Hello, welcome to all 5 fans who are here. But it's nice to see all these fans showing up for our next game, our River City versus Fort Myers A-level game.
Yeah, River City and Fort Myers coming up next. That game will be at 11:15, so in just about 35 minutes. Correction, just about 50 minutes for that game.
See, that was an apex jump.
Now that was an apex jump, no doubt about it.
Although I think Case still has the honor of saying first apex jump in the morning.
That was, yeah, Case did get the first apex jump of the morning completed.
Harlow Oscara jamming again.
Villain Defoe doing a nice job of trying to prevent that star pass.
Hard to tell if Harlot's actually going for a star pass or if she's just being kind of sneaky and making the blockers think about both her position and the pivot's position by waving the helmet cover around.
Well, you see.
Oh, no, actually going for the star pass. All right, word.
Yeah, you see Din jamming coming back to try to pick it. So they were hip to hip there for a second, and the star pass didn't occur. So I agree. I thought maybe it was just a tactic to try to throw the blockers off from Greenville.
Could be a little bit of both.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of psychological warfare. And depending on what Brickyard
Din
does
back
here,
there fighting against both Smashly Balls and Bulldozer.
depending
And
on what
Villain Defoe.
Brickyard does
That
here,
is not a wall I would like to go against.
I think this might actually be the last jam of the game, depending on how long Brickyard lets it go.
This might actually be the highest scoring jam of the game. I think so far Brickyard's highest scoring jam has been 20 points.
Yeah, so Brickyard has both of the highest scoring jams thus far in the game. Their opening jam was 20 points, and this one even more impressive. And a phenomenal 28-point jam brings this game to a close. Your unofficial score, Greenville Apex Predators 380, Small Wonder Skate Club 42. Your announcer, Ziggy, and myself, we will be right back with our MVP blockers and jammers in just a minute. Fans, if you want to, come on out trackside and give these skaters a high five.
Come show these skaters some love.
A great opening game for this second day of the PBR tournament. Your unofficial score, Greenville 380, Small Wonder 42. We'll be right back with our MVPs in just a moment.
So your MVP jammer, no, I'm gonna wait, hold on.
No, you got to get the pictures in. So many pictures.
It's hard to wrangle all the people.
In 35 minutes, we'll have our next game. That's going to be Fort Myers Roller Derby taking on the River City Riot. That'll be an 11:15 game, our second WFTDA sanctioned game of the day. The number 14 ranked Fort Myers going up against the number 33 ranked River City Riot.
All right, as these teams are splitting out, we'd like to announce the MVP jammer for Small Wonder Skate Club. It was number 1891, Tesla Coyle. And MVP jammer for the Greenville Roller Derby Apex Predators was number 19, Colonel Mustard.
All righty, and now for our MVP blockers for Small Wonder, number 31, Repercussions. And your MVP blocker for Greenville Apex Predators, number 03, Bulldozer. We've got patches for you up here at the announcers table, so come on over and grab your MVP blocker and jammer patches, and stick around. We'll be back with more derby action here at 11:15.